This took me all damn day to do, but there are other side problems. Um, so I made a shelf here, and I have these two. These are 065, and I believe that's 32 thou. The problem was I was trying to bend the 065 a full 26-inch length of 065 on the Harbor Freight bender, and you're trying to bend 26 inches of 065. It's a real hard, really hard to do. It wouldn't go. I can bend about 14 inches of it, and I did that. You'd imagine how much power it takes to do that. It takes a lot of power to do that, and I'm not strong enough with the 1 foot long handles and a portable bench. You'd probably have to put in some concrete anchors into the garage floor, which I've thought about, and bolting it into something that's not going to move, like the floor, to make that happen. But I put a 065 plate on the bottom, and then I've got these guys, which are also 065. They were already bent, but they're only about 13 inches. So give it a try. See if you can bend it. This is just 6061 T6, but 065 thick T6. It's going to give you a workout. It's really hard stuff to bend. So the thinner stuff, I got to start stocking up on the thinner stuff because it's much easier to bend. That stuff is just bend it real easy. So hopefully that won't bend too much. We'll try and keep the lighter stuff on it, like the acrylics, some copper stuff, some small scrap steel. The idea here is to put more of the rims on top and keep them classified out of the full length stuff. So we've got steel, aluminum round stock, brass round stock, some copper stuff. Just keep it sort of somewhat organized. It doesn't have to be really organized. It's really here to add a shelf space so that it's not piles on top of piles on top of piles on top of piles. You get the idea. So hopefully it won't collapse on itself, but we'll see. We can't put too much heavy stuff on the sides because then they'll start to bow. And we didn't want to put the supports at the very ends because then there would be no support in the middle, and the middle would bow. So you can't really win here. You'd have to have 4 of these fins to be really supporting, and I only had one plate that was U-shaped that was already bent. So we were already good 3 hours into this, and I was just looking for pieces that were already basically the right size to throw this thing together and call it a day. So right now it's good enough. We didn't have to weld anything, and this kind of project you can't weld because you're trying to make everything fit. So if we were trying to weld this kind of thing, so the problem is you have to actually tip this top pan has to actually go in sideways because it's bigger than the opening, and this fin has to come off. So you can't weld it. You have to have fasteners. So we use threaded studs with nuts so we could take the fin off and it wouldn't cause the fasteners to spin. The fasteners are captive in that bottom plate. So they do not spin. They're actually swaged into the aluminum. So they're panel fasteners. And there's much more exposition than is really necessary. Anyway, this fin comes off, or they both come off, but this fin came off. I had to twist this and just barely make it in, and then come down, come back this other way, put the fin on, put the nuts on, tighten it, and then put the top down. And it was all set to go. So there you go. Couple plates, no welding. You have to be able to assemble it in place. And it's a organizer, sort of like this thing being a complete mess, but it's actually semi-organized. This is great too. Just get some pipes and a whole bunch of, this took 2 cans of ABS glue. So there's 3 rows here. 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. And it's just completely slathered with ABS cement. And that works really good.